Star Wars Episode 9 is said to be the end of the Skywalker saga and the sequel trilogy itself by director J.J. Abrams, where after this they will focus on the future of the Star Wars franchise and exactly where that's going. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So what's really great about the future of the Star Wars franchise is that we do know that we are getting 3 new Star Wars movies by the creators of Game of Thrones. Yes, I do know that there are a lot of mixed reactions on whether or not they're really the best fit or the best choice for a Star Wars trilogy, since Season 8 of Game of Thrones really did not get great feedback. But I digress. What's really intriguing about the future of the Star Wars franchise is that these past couple of weeks or so we've been learning a whole lot more about the future of this franchise, and what's really intriguing is that it's described that not only are Disney and Lucasfilm currently focused on the rise of Skywalker with director J.J. Abrams, but they are also focused on the new Star Wars trilogy by the creators of Game of Thrones. It's described that the early stages of the new trilogy are ramping up and that Disney and Lucasfilm are beginning their casting search for some of the main roles in the storyline. It's described that they are in negotiations to get Leonardo DiCaprio on board into the Star Wars franchise, since they have a plan to insert A-list actors into the franchise. Leonardo was the original choice of Anakin Skywalker before Hayden Christensen, where Leonardo said, "I did have a meeting with George Lucas about that, yes. I just didn't feel ready to take that dive at that point." Now it's said that Benioff and Weiss are looking at DiCaprio for one of the main roles. It's unclear if chosen that DiCaprio would portray a Sith, Jedi, or perhaps even a bounty hunter. So let's go over a couple of parts about this, because a lot of people are expressing their reactions or their concerns and their opinions on whether or not bringing in A-list and B-list actors into the Star Wars franchise is a good or a bad thing. Now, I'm sure that you guys have been hearing about Keanu Reeves and his potential involvement in, of course, Star Wars Episode 10, or Star Wars X, which is the code name of the first film of the new trilogy. And I think what's really exciting about this is that, yes, I do believe that A-list actors and B-list actors, whatever have you, are really going to attract other audience members. It's really going to reach out to fans who are familiar with those actors to go ahead and see those Star Wars films. So I can kind of see exactly why Disney and Lucasfilm would want these well-known actors to be a part of these movies. It seems like that they're trying to treat these new Star Wars films almost as if it's something like Pirates of the Caribbean, where we do have A-list stars and B-list stars inserted into those franchises. And I think that with that being said, the fact that they're trying to do something like that, it could very well be a good move, but at the same exact time, I totally understand those out there who express their concern, where unknowns are a better fit for the Star Wars franchise. If you look at the original trilogy, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, back then, a lot of people didn't really know exactly who they really were before they stepped into the Star Wars franchise. They really, pretty much, were very popular once, they were in A New Hope, and so on and so forth. The same exact thing happened with the prequel trilogy, and not a lot of people really knew Hayden Christensen, not a ton of people really knew Natalie Portman, but once she got into those movies, she got a couple of roles here and there. So, the thing about this is that we also know that the Star Wars franchise is growing, and they're trying to really evolve this franchise. We also know that Disney and Lucasfilm are treating it as a completely new take on the Star Wars franchise. So, having Leonardo DiCaprio on board, I don't think is a big mistake at all. I think he's a great actor. The fact that he denied the role of Anakin Skywalker when George Lucas met with him years and years ago, back in, I believe it was 2003, if I'm not mistaken. Back in 2003, when Leonardo talked with George Lucas about, portraying the role of Anakin Skywalker when he denied it, that was ultimately handed down to Hayden Christensen. Honestly, guys, if you look at Leonardo, he could have very well played Anakin. He's got similar facial features if you look very close to Anakin Skywalker's. But if we look at Episode 9 and what's coming for Star Wars X, I think that having these A-list actors on board is an excellent choice. Now, the thing about this, though, is that we do know that some of these actors don't want to be affiliated with a movie like Star Wars or anything around those lines. A lot of these A-list stars and these B-list actors, who haven't really experimented with science fiction films per se, that being said, they usually try to stay away from that. So we do know that Leonardo DiCaprio, over the years, has been affiliated with Quentin Tarantino movies, which are very, good movies in my opinion, very, different types of action films that you wouldn't expect Leonardo to have been inserted into, and he eventually was. So it wouldn't be too surprising for him to be involved with this Star Wars movie if he does accept it. The fact that they are in negotiations right now and are trying to get him on board into the Star Wars franchise for a set of 3 Star Wars movies that are going to take themselves seriously, I think that Leonardo would be a very great fit as a Jedi, personally. He would really look the part of the role of a Jedi Master, in my opinion, if you do dress him up and do the makeup correctly and add certain elements to the facial features of Leonardo. I think it can be done, without a doubt. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon we hear them moans again.